Hello and welcome to MtG. My name is Vyacheslav, and if you like my videos, please support me by leave a comment, press like button or subscribe to the channel. And today I show you my Premodern Landstill deck. Landstill is a mostly classic blue and white control deck. It's contrast spells, destroy creatures, and draw cards to counter more spells and destroy more creatures. As you know, this deck have different cards of course, but it's simple, mostly simple game plan, and have some interesting condition. And win condition in Landstill is really specific. Let's look at main part of the deck. Most important card is a Standstill, enchantment for blue and colorless, and when player plays spells, you sacrifice Landstill and opponent of that player draw 3 cards. So it means if your opponent plays spell, you will draw 3 cards. So just for 2 mana draw 3 cards, very nice. But if you, by some reason, play a spell, if you need to do it, your opponent draw 3 cards. So for 2 mana, you give cards to opponent, and it's not look so nice. So what to do, how to win the game if we have the Landstill on the table, Standstill on the table. In the name of the deck is the answer, and its second important cards. Manlands, different manlands. First one is a Mishra's Factory, one of the best old school creatures that's still good in Premodern too. For 1 mana it becomes Assembly Worker, 2/2, artifact creature, and any other factory can buff it, pump for +1/+1. And even factory that you animate can pump themselves if have not summoning sickness. So on the block it can be for free or for 4 by help of other factory. Playset of this card is main win condition, I think. Also, it can be a problem if your opponent play Manland, yeah? Because we need to trade, not fun. So we can use cards like Westland, the Premodern staple, land that can destroy any non-basic land just for a tap. It's very nice. As you know, all Manlands is not basic lands. Basic lands is just basic lands. So deck contains 2 copies of Westland. I'm not tell about, but of course deck contains 4 copies of Standstill. One more manland here is a Fairy Conclave. It's a tapped land, give you blue mana, and for colorless and blue it's transformed into Fairy, 2/1 flying Fairy. It's nice because it's hard to block flying creature, and it's of course not better than Factory, so that contains only 2 copies of Conclave. And we already look at the lands, so let's look at all lands. One more mana base is the tapped blue and white land. It's not good because it comes to play tapped, but good because just give you colorful mana that you want. 2 copies of them because it's tapped. So with Fairy Conclave deck contains only 4 copies of tapped land. The second land comes to play untapped. It's Undercard Wastes, very nice from Ice Age. It gives you blue and white also, but only for 1 point of life. And in other case you will produce only colorless mana with this land. Of course we have playset of Flooded Strand, blue and white fetchlands, that help you find 1 of 4 islands or 1 of 4 plains. And it's all mana base of the deck. Now when we see main part, it's time to talk about counter spells. Even players who know about the black or red control decks, when listed about control decks, think about something blue, because counter magic. And of course, this blue and white deck contains 4 counter spells. For 2 blue mana, you just counter target spell. It's simple and it's effective. It's fun, but when I start to play Magic, I really don't understand why counter spell can counter already played creature or enchantment. It's a spell, but no, counter spell counter only spell that right now played in this deck. Counter spell is fine, but we need more counter magic, so also deck contains playset of Mana Leak. It has simpler cost, because you need only 1 blue and 1 colorless, but it's control all spells, but only if owner of the spell can't pay free. If the player have free opponent mana, he can pay free and still resolve spell. Mostly use Mana Leak only when it's counter spell, yeah. Any tricks to tap your opponent mana sources is not fine, actually. And last counter spell in the deck, it's Absorb. It's very fine for 3 mana, it costs 1 white and 2 blue. For 2 blue you have a counter spell, and for 1 white you gain 3 points of life. But sadly 3 mana is not too bad expensive counter spell, you know. Counter spell for 2 mana is much more better, so only 2 copies of this. Now go to the removal section. Of course, they contains 4 copies of Swords of Plowshares. It's important white removal for any white deck. It's exile creature, opponent will gain life, but in any case, give your opponent life instead of creature is better than still have a creature on the table. But for control deck, that anyway will win the game slow and later, it's perfect, it's ideal. As you can see, my swords from Ice Age, because I try to use more Ice Age cards in my Premodern decks. Second removal spell from Ice Age again, it's Disenchant. Premodern contains a lot of dangerous artifacts and enchantments, not like old school, but still a number of them, so Disenchant is fine and good answer. Also it can kill the Mistress Factory. And last removal spell, oh, not last, and still good, is Wrath of God. Destroy all creatures and they can be regenerated, just for 4 mana, 2 of them is white. It's perfect. Especially for control deck that have no creatures on the table. You remember, all our main creatures is lands. And the last removal now, for 2 mana, is Powder Keg. I like this card, it's very fine. It comes into play without counters. On each upkeep you can put a counter in the card, into permanent, into artifact, and for tap and sacrifices destroy all artifacts and creatures with mana cost equal number of counters. So it can kill tokens or manlands that your opponent control just for 2 mana and sacrifice immediately. It can destroy a lot of 2 mana permanents, and if you have Standstill on the table, Standstill is enchantment, so it will not be destroyed. Also it have fine artwork. I skip it, but the land's not only win con in the Landstill deck. Also we have the Decree of Justice. It's fine spell for a lot of mana, very expensive, 2 white and X of mana, that you can create the half of X angels for 4 with flying. It's nice, but expensive, right? Even for control deck. But this card also has cycling ability. You know, when you cycle card, it's not a casting spell, so you can cycle it when land's still on the table. It costs 2 and white, you will draw a card, and you can pay X to put into play X 1/1 soldiers. So, in the late game it can be big number of soldiers and you will win the game with them. In the early game you still can use it, because sometimes it gives you a turn with the champ block before the Wrath of God. And also give you a card, and it may be a Wrath of God that you need right now. That contains 3 copies of Decree, and it's 1 more win condition. And now let's talk about the card advantage. We already have the Standstill. For 2 mana you can draw 3 cards, and we have playset of this card, so it's already fine, but you know, sometimes you can't use it, because your opponent already have big creature. Sometimes you will play it, but your opponent will not play spells by some reason, so it's not 100% draw engine. So we need something else. One of draw engine cards is a Decree of Justice, as I say, because it gives you 1 card but with some profit. And second one is a Factor Fiction. It's very nice instant for 4 mana. You show to your opponent 5 top cards of your deck, and the opponent separated into 2 piles, and you will choose 1 of them. In the very rare case you will draw 4 or 1. 1 if you need exactly 1 card, your opponent know about it, and if it helps you to not lose a game, of course it's better to draw 1 card, not 4, but don't lose a game. And second rare case, when you draw 4 cards, it's a moment when your opponent thinks that you need only 1 card of them, but you already have second copy of this card in hand, so you can still don't lose a game and draw 4. Very nice. But mostly it will give you 2 or 3 cards, depends of different situations. So actually for 4 mana you will draw 2 with half cards. I think it's good even in modern Magic, and in Premodern it's nice. Very cool. Also, your opponent won't need to make decision to separate cards, so maybe he will be slightly tired and it give him to one step close to make mistake. Nice, but 4 mana not so cheap, so only 3 copies. And last card is actually not draw engine, it's card selection, because it's impulse for 2 mana, instant. You will look at the 4 top cards of your library and choose one. Mostly selection is better even than draw engine, because when you draw 2 cards you can draw helpful and non-help card, or you can draw 2 useless cards. But with impulse you will look at the 4 cards and take that you need. And it's all main deck of my version of Blue and White Landstill, but also it's a lot of cards that other players use, and they fun too. Mostly players that use it, it's players that win the games, not me, so it can be very helpful. It's a Seal of Cleansing, an enchantment. It's like disenchant but permanent. You can sacrifice it to destroy its focus enchantment, it costs 2 mana, but it's stay on table and wait a moment to destroy something. It's nice for you because you can play Seal and Van stand still, and use it to destroy opponent's artifacts. But also it's good against the Landstill, so you can play it in the mirror to plus. One more enchantment is Humility, expensive. Expensive by money and by mana too, for 2 white and 2 colorless. It transforms all creatures into 1/1 creatures without any abilities. It's fine. And also it's good combo with our lands, because animation ability of a land in the more priority layer, so when you have Humility on the table and animate land becomes the stat of transform. So if you animate Factory, it will be 2/2. So it can be fine, especially if your opponent don't know about it, and you can use it as a trick. One more interest card is Aural Silence. It's like Seal of Cleansing, but for 3 mana, and also make all enchantments more expensive. Can be good against any enchantment decks. And you can use all of this card by single turn, and use Enlightened Tutor to find any enchantment that you have in your deck on the top of it. So you can find all of this card in the moment that you need it. It's fine, but sadly this tutor find card not on the hand, it find it into top of your deck, so maybe it's not good all of time. One more card that you can put into main is for Phyrexian Furnace. It's nice Grave Hate, event, Dust Bowl. I prefer Wasteland, because it can be helpful in early game and in different stations, but in a late game, Dust Bowl is better way to destroy opponent minelands and even non-basic mana base. Because Dust Bowl don't leave the battlefield unused its ability, so we can destroy not one but a lot of minelands. And also, in the comment to our with Elena duel video, Vince ACRT leave a comment about the Teferish response. It's so nice card. It's especially nice in the metagame when players have a lot of Ponza or just deck with some land destruction spells. Because when your opponent will play a spell, you will counter it and draw cards. But also it's nice to save your manlands. Again, manlands is one of our main win conditions. So if your opponent tries to use Wasteland or Dust Bowl against your manland, you can play this response, draw cards, counter effect. Very nice. It's card that you can put into main deck, but also we have a lot of blue and white cards that you can put only in sideboard. One of them is Circle Protection Red. Of course, you can put it into main deck in specific metagame, but mostly it's better in sideboard. Circle Protection is a glorious card. For 2 mana enchantment, for 1 mana you can prevent damage for any red source. It's very nice. You can prevent lightning bolt or damage from ball lightning. Fine. Hydroblast, again, it's against red. For 1 blue mana, counter red spell or destroy red permanent. It's can be very helpful to counter lightning bolt or destroy Goblin War Chief at the right moment. Annul. 1 more counter spell for 1 blue that can counter Phyrexian Dreadnought or Landstill. When your opponent on the play, it can be very fine to counter standstill that you have. And Tormod Script, 1 more Grave Hate. It's cost cheaper than the Phyrex and the Furnace, but it costs you a card. So I think it's good against some specific matchups, but mostly Furnace is better. And of course also we have the Parallax Tide. It's an enchantment with Fate for mana. You can remove the counter to remove land from the game. Nice against control deck. But it's card for main deck, and as I think it must be used in the similar to Landstill, but slightly different deck. Because you also have Replenish for Return It or something something specific stuff. Its even name is different, Parallax Control, I think. So I think I show you all popular decisions for Blue and White Landstill, and even some not so popular. And you know, Premodern contains a lot of cards, so you can choose something else and put into your deck. Why not? But it's all. It's all about my version of Landstill deck. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment or subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.